Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and welcome back to Cards in Hand. This is episode 10. Crazy enough, bro. This is really funny. We didn't actually plan on talking about this, but I just thought since we're at episode 10, I watched a
Yeah.
really interesting video the other day that was
Okay.
saying that any podcast that makes it past, I think it's 12, or
Okay.
maybe it's 12 episodes, is actually in like the top 10% of podcasts ever.
Let's
Because
go.
yeah, usually speaking, most end up like crumbling before then or just stop making episodes and whatnot. So we're still going strong, baby.
Hey. I was gonna say, R.I.P. Tin Drop though.
Yeah.
We R.I.P. Tin Drop crawled so that we could walk, brother.
This is so true. It crawled so we could walk. That is a fact. And
Uh,
it's good to see you guys again. I know that it's been maybe like it's been about a month.
almost a month now.
Yeah, since we made a video, but to be fair, a lot has been going on. The last episode, I believe we had Kek Filet on with us, and the episode before that, we had Jackson Huang.
Right.
And we talked about, with Jackson about his, road to Worlds and everything, having come in second place here in that NA Nationals. But we got to experience Worlds, but we just had so much going on. Like, I was out of town, we had Worlds happening. You got a wife and a kid, so many
Yeah.
things, dude.
A lot of moving parts, man. We do the best
Yeah,
we can, but between you with your upcoming wedding and just your general schedule, and same with me, my general schedule, being a family man, And I'll be honest with you, there towards the end of set five, there wasn't too much. I feel like there
that's
wasn't too
true.
much to really go over. Like
Yeah,
we done did it. We done
yeah,
did set five format. There wasn't any surprises. There was no. It kind of is what it was. What it was at that given point. And to be fair. But now we are on a new horizon, my friend. We've got set six right around the corner, and some interesting news that just recently came about. So we've got material now. We've got good stuff.
we've got a lot of good stuff. And
Yeah.
before we get into the beauty that is OP06, I did want to, just highlight and also, first off, congratulate a lot of the people,
Yes.
that won, actually every single player that made it to
Yeah.
Worlds. I mean, that is impressive nonetheless. 16 players being able to make it to Worlds. Actually fantastic. I thought the event was great. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. I will say, though, that there was a few matches that were so fast. They were like, there was one that was less than 5 minutes. It was like the Zoro match versus Sakazuki, I think, or
Okay.
maybe it was Purple Luffy. I can't remember. But
Okay.
regardless, that match was so fast that
Yeah.
they were like, well,
We'll be back in
yeah,
half an hour.
be back in half an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Sadly for me, that was. Well, let me go back and rephrase that. It was
Yeah.
not sadly. It was actually my son's. Not his technical birthday, but the day in which we celebrated his birthday. So
Okay.
big birthday party, tons of kids,
Yep.
all day thing. And honestly, by the time I got him tucked in bed and settled in, it was in that stretch of where One Piece had just ended, and then there was gonna be like 5 hours of
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
Digimon, and then it was gonna be One Piece at like 1:30 a.m. or 2 a.m. And I'm not gonna lie. Your boy did not stay up for that.
No.
It was I had such a long day. I was already gassed by the time I tucked him in. So unfortunately for me, I did not get to really catch too many of the world's matches, unfortunately. So
Yeah, I was able to catch all of the Swiss matches, which were great. They were fantastic
mhm,
to watch through. However, I myself didn't stay up for the finals until the morning after. When I woke up, I just went back and rewatched.
sure, yeah,
Yeah, which was quick and easy. But I tell you
right,
what, it was late. Apparently, it
yeah,
went till like 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was right around then when they announced the ban list. And
okay,
now I know that a lot of our listeners here, it's not really going to affect us, at least not for now.
right,
The ban list will be, potentially in effect in the future. However,
yeah,
right now we don't really have to worry too much about it. But seeing Great Eruption, Sakazuki, and Reject getting banned, what are your thoughts there, man?
um. A little bit surprised, to be honest with you. I thought that they might maybe restrict or ban parts within Sakazuki, because I think everyone knew that Sakazuki was going to be a target in some way, shape, or form, because of the results that Sakazuki has had.
Yeah.
My initial gut feeling was that, you know, it was going to be like maybe Houndblaze, maybe Rebecca, something along those lines that I think a lot of us have touched on previously, is like maybe restrictions, maybe full out bans. But I did not see a full on leader ban coming. I didn't see that one coming. And then the Great Eruption felt a little. It's almost like the Nami of this ban slash restriction. When we heard all the Whitebeard stuff, and then they threw in the Nami, and you're just like, what the hell's Nami doing in here, kind of thing, you know, like kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
That was kind of what Great Eruption was for me, and I'm not gonna argue and say that it wasn't deserving, because it is a very strong card. But at the same time, I think had they left that alone, I don't think anyone. I'd like, you know, I'm curious to see how impactful that one actually is. To be honest with you, I didn't think it felt necessary. But you know, as the card reads, it's a strong card.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so I was a little taken back.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but this was like my kind of mentality as to why they hit Great Eruption in particular. Was they not only were trying to, you know, kind of take it out of the Sakazuki idea of just being able to cycle cards, card draw, all that good stuff, but simultaneously other decks that maybe they not only have planned for the future, but as well as Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria with Great Eruption is so good, because you're trashing a card with leader effect to get a card onto the board, but it does reduce your hand size, and being able to use Great Eruption to kind of mitigate that that loss per se is really, really helpful. And I could be wrong, but it felt like maybe that's why they were going for it. I mean, it's a 1-cost card cycle essentially, and it performs an action that could be very useful towards, like, you know, other plays in the deck. So I understand why they hit it. I just I wasn't expecting it, that's for sure. Yeah. But Sakazuki, dang. Yeah, they did that new promo.
They for lack of a better term, they neutered him.
Yeah.
They completely neutered him.
Yeah, they did him dirty.
They did. They're like, there's no shot you're coming back from this one, fam.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I am one of those people that I am not going to say that Sakazuki is not playable until I see that it is not playable. The reason why is because, I kid you not, that color combination is broken.
It
right?
is. It is.
It is so good.
We've talked about it. The color combination is insanely strong, just inherently. It's inherently strong.
Yes. And so I almost think that with Sakazuki being a vanilla leader, it's not even the worst thing ever. It's just nowhere near as good as it was previously, and that's very obvious. However, I do still think that deck might not be like tier 1, right? Like it was tier 0 in with the OP06 editions. It was unreal, right? But you see this deck now with the new leader effect. It might not be in that tier 1 spot, but it might be tier 2.
You think so? Really?
I think it'll still be. I think it'll be competitive, not highly competitive, right? I don't think it'll be. I doubt it would even be close to best deck in format. Like, but I do think that it'll be all right. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Hey,
call me crazy.
You know, like from what I was reading, a lot of the reasoning, and it's justified reasoning, is that Bandai was saying that the deck, the gist of it was saying it's just too consistent, right?
Yeah.
It's just way too consistent. And we take away Great Eruption, which I think in combination with his leader ability of cycling cards, the Great Eruption was just too much. But they also gave us Tashigi now too, right? So like to your point, like it still has Tashigi, it still has brand new. Two really good searches that are gonna keep it at a certain level of consistency. and then just paired with the overall color combination. I get where you're coming from. I don't know if I th- I think the discarding a card is a little too much for the effect.
Yeah,
If
for
I'm
-1, that's awful.
Yeah, I don't even know if you're gonna honestly. I think you're just using it as a, like you're saying, like kind of a vanilla leader
Yep.
that you're
You just got a
relying
good
on,
color
like maybe
combo.
some Ice Ages,
Mhm.
maybe Raw playing Hina. You still have the Rebecca Hina Lucci, like that's still very much a thing.
Yep. Helmblaze
So
is still nice. You've
exactly.
got
So
there's plenty of new options that are coming out as well as old options. I'm trying to remember what set it's from, but there's like a set 4, maybe set 3 card called Hoot Couture or Haute Couture or something like that. I can't
okay,
remember how it's pronounced, but it's a 1 cost -3 to a character, and it has some other, I can't remember what it is, some other underlying thing that it has to do, but
okay,
it's very interesting. It's not
hmm
searchable because it's not navy, but
hmm
that's where you kind of like get the quote, like maybe potential quote unquote balance, is that it's not drawing a card, but it can do the -3 instead of a -2, like Great
okay,
Eruption for the same cost. It's not
yeah,
searchable though, so like it does kind of stop that consistency. But
hmm
I think there are ways that people will find to
sure,
work out. You know, like for example, when we saw a lot of those Newgate ban lists coming out in like early OP02 and like late OP03, early OP04,
hmm
people still found a way. They
oh yeah,
still found a way. If not,
absolutely,
Newgate got better because
yeah,
people were like, oh, you know what? I can just work in this card, blah, blah, blah. And
right,
so I think that there is something to be said about maybe preemptively, counting it out before it's realistically even play tested. And that's just why I'm like, hey, I don't think it's going to be great, but I think it has
yeah.
a chance,
I mean, I think that's fair. I think honestly, my biggest concern, to be honest with you, is can it keep up with the power creep? To be truthful, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is it still going to be able to hang with the level of cards that we're going to be using, down the line?
Yeah.
And so that's like, we're seeing a pretty, I want, maybe aggressive is too strong, but a pretty ramped up level of power creep. It feels like with each set.
Yep.
And so, my concern being is like, all right, can you keep up at this point? Because 5 life black leaders like Gecko Moria. We've got Rob Lucci for set 7, and just a good old 5 life black leader is really strong. It's extremely strong.
Yeah.
And
Even
so that's
starter deck 14 Luffy. I don't know if you've seen that one.
oh dude, I cannot
It's
wait.
gonna
I
be
cannot wait.
cool.
You and I both are the are Black Luffy appreciators. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, I'm hyped. I am
Yeah.
hyped for that. But that's the point, is just
Right.
like, it there comes a point where it's like, if I'm playing Sakazuki, then why am I just not playing Gecko Moria, or why am I not playing Rob Lucci? And I think
Yeah.
that's just the question that people are going to be asking themselves. It's like, I'm more or less doing the same thing. Why am I not just playing the better leader that kind of accomplishes the same thing?
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of why that deck might get phased out a little bit more. Do I think it's gonna be like dog water? No, because it's just like to your point, the color combinations in Stain both have very complementary cards in the deck list. So I don't think it's gonna like disappear. I think the question is just gonna be like, why am I playing this when I can play Gecko, or I can play Perona, or
Yeah.
I can play Rob Lucci, and so I think that's where the leader's going to find itself.
Yeah, you'll end up finding more or less kind of a better option for,
Better version
yeah,
of
better option for essentially the same idea with the deck list.
exactly,
And that's
exactly.
and that's totally fair. And yeah, the last one that got hit was Reject, which I think
Thank
is,
God,
thank
dude.
God. Yeah, good
I got hit.
lord.
We'll go into pre-release. I've
Yeah.
never been hit with more nonsense in my life than this pre-release. I got hit with the razzle dazzle, like all the. I'm like, wait, you're doing what kind of combo on
Yeah.
a pre? Like, what is
Yeah.
going on right now? So, man, I got hit with that card once, like no, twice in pre-release, and I've seen it 2 times too many already, bro. I'm
Yeah.
just like, get this card out of my face,
I
dude.
not only that, but just playing against it in the sim, it just feels like playing against yellow is just it's just stupid. Like
It's insane.
they're not even they're ignoring your entire board. They're just going
They
for
don't
life.
care. I don't care.
until they get you to 1, and then they're like, oh, reject Amaru, bye, catch you later.
Dude, it is funny you say that. I
Yeah,
literally caught a video. A lot of people may be familiar. Strongest Wizard.
yeah,
I like a lot of his content. Posts good stuff.
the
I
man.
watched a video of. Yeah, awesome dude. I watched a video of him that he just posted this morning. I believe it was this morning, and it was Reiju versus Katakuri. He was playing Katakuri, and I usually refrain from like commenting on other people's videos because I don't want to be, like that guy. And the video was amazingly done. However, he literally played one Pero Sparrow and one 7-drop Mom, and he won the game. Those were the only 2 cards he played from his hand. The only 2 cards he played from his hand, and he won the game.
Yeah,
And reject, and load up my mom and take it, And I'm like, dude, this like, and I commented, I was like, hey, this is I was like, this is crazy that you can only play one Pero Sparrow and one 7-drop Mom, and you still just win the game.
yeah.
And I'm like, what is like, how is this a thing right now?
It's crazy.
It is, and like it was the most effortless. And this is, and I know Strongest Wizard's a good player. This is nothing
Phenomenal,
at all
yeah.
to do with him. Yeah,
No,
nothing
yeah.
at all to do with him.
Yeah.
Like he could win with any number of decks. It was just very, it stood out so much to me that there was hardly anything he had to do at all to win the game. There was literally nothing he really, like the cards, the deck just did its own thing.
Yeah.
And it was just like GG's. And I'm just like, what did I just watch, dude? What just happened? But he used reject there at the end to close out the game. Take away the last life and just be like, yeah, have fun with the, hold 14K to the face. And good luck,
Enjoy this, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It was I've seen some matches like that where it really was kind of mind-blowing to think like, dang, what was going through someone's head when they said, yeah, this is cool. This is a really cool idea. And
yeah.
But
and you know what? Sadly for us, it sounds like we're gonna get at least an entire format with that card.
Yeah. I'm hoping towards the beginning of EVO1 that maybe we start to see this restriction list hit us as well. But it is what it is. And
you know what? Like, I feel like Bane at this point, where it's like we've been molded by Yellow at this point. We were born in it. We've been here since the inception of Yellow. And for any new player that is just now experiencing the joys of playing against Yellow, I'm sorry.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun, but there's just a level of acceptance that you kind of have to have in order to move forward at this point, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of Yellow and acceptance, yeah, back to the OP06 pre-release. So
yeah,
we were talking about this right before we started recording that I think we can both 100% agree that this has been the worst pre-release experience we have ever had out of all 6 sets. It is miserable.
Set 5 didn't have a pre-release, to be fair.
Kinda, yeah. They had the first anniversary event, but it was for us it was sealed, so it was basically a pre-release.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, and but the OP06, I mean, this is just abysmal, man. I played against I knew that I was gonna have to play Yamato because everyone else was playing Yamato. Although one of the guys that won was playing Usa's Captain Kid, so big shout out to Brian for that for that dub. But yeah, we ended up having some matches that I was like, okay, I drew I think it was 5, I believe. I think it was 5 blockers out of my 6 packs. And I was like, all right, so I'm pretty screwed, but that's okay, right? I was like, how many 2Ks did I get? 4.
No 2K. Yeah.
4. I was like, okay, I'm definitely screwed. I don't have any like 0 cost events, to get rid of non-counter cards. I drew a bunch of big cards. Like I got Secret Rare Zoro, Moria, and the 8 cost Germa card Judge. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm not too upset, but we'll see how this goes. I got smacked. My opponent just attached all their Dawn to leader every turn. I didn't draw a blocker. Swung face. I was down to 0 life by turn 4. And I had like all of 4 or 5K counter in hand. They attached the rest, and I lose. I'm like, what did I just play? This
Yeah.
is
What just happened?
what just happened. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's something that I was thinking about, like what could we do to remedy this situation? And I wish I had it on me right now. It's over there, but the rainbow Luffy card that you get from the sealed pack.
Yeah.
I was talking about this with some homies at the pre-release last night, and we said, dude, why are they not just printing like 16 of these every pre-release, and just
Yeah.
like
One of the
you participate, you get that card, and then you use it for every sealed event.
That's exactly what one of the pre-releases that I did, that I attended, they did that,
Yeah.
and it felt the most fair, I guess is the best way of
Yeah,
putting it.
fair, fun,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Well, and being able to unlock the abilities of the cards is
yeah,
really fun
it's
too.
super fun. I
It
agree.
is. And so like for that reason alone, I feel like that's probably the best way to go about it, to be truthful for you.
100%, because I think that if we have to go into OP07 and people are running Yamato again, I
Oh, they will.
I will break a desk, and I
Yeah.
will and I will let the LGS know, like, sorry, but I'm not paying for that. Just-
Yeah. No, this was a rough one, dude. And usually I'm usually in the mix for like finals. Like for the last pre-release, I was in 2 of the 3 finals. For this one, I only made it to 1 of the 3 finals.
yeah.
Just because of all the chaos. Like, so my first pre-release, my first 2 matches, I get high rolled. They choose first, and both of my opponents on curve play the 7-cost blue event.
Oh,
And it bounces bottom
yeah.
decks. Oh, on my first turn, I play Okikunoju, and I'm like, all right, on curve, I play that. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
great. I play Kikunoju on curve.
Yeah.
Like, this is I'm not gonna say it's gonna win me the game, but damn, I'm in a great spot.
Right.
You know, my next turn, I'm playing Arlong, so I freeze his leader, and I'm like, dude, like, GG's, bro.
I'm
Like,
cooking.
like,
I'm
yeah,
cooking.
this is great. He throws down that 7-cost event. I forget the name of it. And
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name. Oh no,
And bottom
Raging
decks-
Tiger Blade or something like that. Gravity Raging Tiger Blade.
Hidden Tiger, Crouching Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like, he just throws that card down, and my Kikunoju effect obviously does not go off. My Arlong is gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and honestly, I don't know if there's ever been more of a card that will outright win you a game in pre-release than that card.
Yeah.
And then the next game, the exact same scenario. When the dice roll, chooses go first. Almost the exact same thing, where it's like I've got like a 3-5 and a 4-6 out there, and they just sweep them under the rug, and I'm like, there's just so much tempo lost at that point that you're just like, what just happened, dude?
Yep.
What just happened?
Yep.
Do
Do you want to know where you made the mistake? You didn't just attach all to leader and swing.
That happened to me. That happened to me too. And then
That's what you should have been doing.
Yeah, and then it was a reject into go for game scenario, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah, I mean, this format, like, if you were playing against Yamato, you were just literally mulligan for as many blockers as you could possibly find.
Yep.
And that was kind of the gist of it. It was tough, man. Like, that was a really weird pre-release, and it just felt like chaos, just absolute chaos all around, man.
Oh, not fun one single bit. I was just talking with everybody, like, what are we doing here? And and everybody was like, we're just opening up packs. We're just hoping, like, none of us care about the Zoro. We're just like hoping we get something good out of the packs. But
I think that's been the sentiment. Is product has been so hard to find that everyone was just like, dude, just give me my 6-pack. Like, let me try and get cards to build my deck. Like, that's kind of, I think, where everyone is at.
No kidding.
I just need cards at this point, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here to not get fined. And it's like, brother, I'm just here to get the cards. I just need to build a damn deck, because I have nothing for set 6 right now.
That's such a good reference.
Yeah, I loved watching Marshawn back in the day, dude.
Oh man,
he was great.
That's funny. Well, you know what? Speaking of lack of cards and everything, you know, with a lot of people having finding issues getting product and whatnot, Something that we've been seeing, or not we've been seeing, excuse me, we've seen now from a Reddit post, but also on Twitter, was some of the, I don't know if I would call them leaks, but they
They
were,
are. They are.
yeah,
It's funny because like when you see those screenshots
yeah.
in their little PowerPoint
It
presentation
does
on
say
their slide,
confidential. Yeah.
yeah, do not share on social media, and yet
Yeah.
we're all getting it from social media. So, but that, I mean, it's to be expected. Like that's
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
there's no way around that unless you literally try and confiscate every phone in the room, which I don't
Exactly.
think people aren't gonna go for that. So
Not at all. But
yeah.
yeah, just some of the things that we saw was actually really nice seeing that they're going to be doing reprints, guaranteed reprints in sometime in May. It says
Yeah.
of OP05, OP06, and OP07.
Right.
It's nice because it might be a little bit more like alleviating towards people looking for product and whatnot.
Mhm.
Tough part about that is that there was no mention of OPO 1 through 4. I don't
Nope.
I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing though, because of the announcement that they made at Worlds of the new, at least on their Twitter page, of the new booster box that is going to be new artworks of older cards.
Right.
And it's going to be more of like a collector's item, but also to get cards in hand of newer players that might need some of those
Right.
older set cards. So I think this is great, all great news. Love to see it. And the other thing was that from this expo, we saw about the launch of the starter deck 15 through 20, and now there was official information posted that the hinted at leaders were correct for their color assignments,
Hmm.
and they're all going to be monocolor with reprints of previous cards, but we don't know yet if it's all reprints or if there are potentially new cards as well inside of these starter decks. So I think that it's going to be really nice because if they do add additional new cards, this is going to be great for everybody. You get new
Yeah.
cards for, the already existing players that have all of the previous ones, and then you're going to get older cards in the hands of newer players. So absolutely love to see the some of these announcements. Unfortunately, it does feel like it has taken a little bit longer than we
Yeah.
wanted, but
Yeah.
it's good to see.
I agree, and that's my sentiment exactly. It's like it's tough. We saw, this is something that I kind of experienced with Pokemon too, where like, in the granted we were in a different time with 2020, where it's like, these trading card games, they make the adjustment, but like for instance, Pokemon finally started just printing to an ungodly amount of cards to where it's like, hey, we hear that you can't get enough cards, so we're just gonna start printing into oblivion.
Yeah.
Well, now it's just everywhere, and it's
Yeah.
just sitting on shelves, and now it feels like they're starting to reel it back a little bit, and it was kind of like well, that's great, but we're not in that era anymore that you were in which you were trying to address this issue.
Yeah.
And so that's the same concern for me, is like, it's awesome to see, regardless, it is awesome to see, because just putting super playable cards out into the market is always going to be a good thing. However, when it comes to like capturing the moment in terms of like making it more welcoming to people that were sincerely intrigued with set 5, because we saw a massive wave of people come in and show a genuine interest come set 5.
Yeah.
Like, how many of those people are still retained? Like how many of those people are still going to come around? And so that's kind of the concern as well. And as anyone that has ordered product from Premium Bandai, nothing nothing happens fast. We're talking like 6 months type thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I just wish, I'm right there with you. I just wish it was kind of like the urgency was just like
A little bit
cranked up.
sooner. Yeah.
Yeah, can we get it out just a little bit quicker, just to kind of like, again, it's something, the term that I was referring to is just, striking while the steel is hot.
Yeah.
And set 5, like, it was scalding hot, and
Oh,
I still
man.
feel like it's still very popular, and I think you can still kind of try and capture that. But I think it's also fair to say that it might be a little bit tampered down by the time that stuff comes out.
Right. Yeah. Maybe maybe like interest in picking up OP05 won't be, lost, but it won't be as high. Absolutely. The nice
Exactly.
thing though is that like they said OP05, 6, and 7.
Right.
So if they're saying after May, it does make me like kind of curious as far as like OP07 is concerned, because OP07 comes out in June. So
Mhm.
I'm think that what they're trying to say from that post is that just OP07 forward will be enough like allocations, product, all that stuff. But
Yes.
that's fingers crossed, bro. That is fingers crossed. So we'll have
Fingers
to
crossed
see.
is yeah, and I had a lot. I remained very confident with set 6 that we were going to be like in a much better spot when by the time set 6 dropped, and lo and behold, we're actually in a worse spot. This is the worst that I feel like it's ever been since like set 2.
Definitely
Uh,
for getting product, I agree.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
been tough.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I'm referring to. Just trying to get your hands on stuff. Like I don't ever remember it being like this bad, and like it was like set 2, I think, because every set releasing, 3, 4, 5 subsequently, all we saw larger and larger amounts of product, and the fact that it feels like there's some regression taking place with set 6 is a
Yeah.
little concerning. But that's why I feel like when they made the announcements they did, it was alleviating to be like, all right, well,
Yeah.
they're addressing it, and let's just hope that going forward, like you mentioned, set 7 going forward, that they're more ahead of the curve than having to, react. Let's be ahead of it rather than trying to react to everything.
Proactive, not reactive. Exactly.
Bingo,
And
bingo.
I will say this though, I don't think that it was that Bandai particularly made less product or didn't print as much as OP05 for OP06. I think that what it is though is there's just more people interested, and there's also more people willing to buy more product. Like I think there's more interest in cases now than there was previously. Like people might have just wanted to buy a few boosters, but now
Hmm.
you've got people that want to buy a full case by themselves. And to be fair, if I'm being honest, a case is perfect because you get like every single card and like
All
a
your
few
place
extras. Yeah, you get a full
Yeah.
play set of everything, but then you get
Right.
extras of all that other stuff, right? But do you really need that? I don't think you do, in my opinion. Like
Mhm.
I'm not saying don't buy, like you shouldn't buy cases. I love, man,
Yeah.
I bought one case so far and it
I was
was
gonna say
it
this
was the
man pulled a
best.
signed Luffy
It
and is telling everyone, "Hey, you
Yeah.
don't need a
No,
case."
no, no. It was
I
the
pulled a
best
signed Luffy
experience.
out of a case, but y'all are
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Y'all are
yeah.
good.
No, what I'm getting at though is like if you're going with the mentality of like I want to get a full play set of everything, you don't need to buy a case in order to get a full play set. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
Right.
could quite literally get like probably 5 boxes, and then you'll probably have a full playset of almost all the SRs. The only thing that you're maybe going to have to hunt for, not maybe, excuse me, will have to hunt for, is the secret rares. And a lot of the times, they're actually very obtainable
Mhm.
through trades, through purchasing, because like half the time, these secret rares don't cost like anything realistically.
Right.
The only one that has so far has been
Category.
Katakuri, and of course the OPO1s, but that was just such a low print of that set that
Right.
getting a secret rare Yamato or a secret rare Shanks is very, expensive. Well, it's not even as expensive as Katakuri, but it's still expensive. They're like 60 or $50, I believe, for like a Yamato, and it's like 30
Shanks
for a
is
Shanks.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something along
Well, and
those lines.
the other thing that helps that out too is that these secrets don't. I mean, they have their place with index, but they're not meta. Like unless mono blue kind of becomes more of a thing. I don't know. I know Queen is people are trying to revive Queen with some of these. With the Sanji
Yeah,
that came out. But they don't seem particularly influential in the current meta, which will also help kind of keep that
yeah,
number in check.
curate the number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas Katakuri, like right out the bat, Katakuri was just like, okay, here we go.
Well, I
You know?
remember a day when Katakuri was like $15,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that was like very beginning of the set. It was like
yeah.
$15, and I remember I gave two to my friend
Yeah.
for what was it? It was an Altar Kuzan, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was
I
like,
got frustrated when I pulled Katakuri's. I was like,
yeah.
damn it, dude.
Yeah,
Another damn
I
category. Come on,
know.
I want something
It
else.
was hilarious. I had like
Yeah.
7 or 8 of those pulled, and I was sitting here like, man, God, like you just
Yeah.
I'll start giving these away, and then I'm like,
Right.
no.
Right.
That's
I
always
do want
funny.
to make I do want to make like a quick comment on what you were mentioning in terms of like the allocations. I think there's something to be said. Like I don't know, like I don't know the truth of it all. I don't know like how what the number is in terms of like how many cases did Bandai actually print of set 6, but I do want to share the information of I've spoke to it's over a dozen. It's probably closer to like 15 or so between the local shops and online shops. Every single shop except for one has received a significantly lower percentage
Oh yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
allocations. And so there's part of me that's like, all right, well, like if this isn't just like if yeah, people, you're correct to say that more people want more product. And it's kind of like it is hurting the demand to an extent, but I'll also say is that this is like from set 4 to 5 into 6, all these shops have received a significantly lower amount of product for set 6. And I mean, like, it's believable to the extent that, I mean, obviously it's believable, but like when we're talking about Union Arena, Battle Spirit Saga, like all these things that Bandai is trying to juggle right now,
Yeah, that's
it
true.
makes sense. And then I also like I didn't believe it at first, but there were also some shops that were sending out uh, emails to their patrons, because a lot of shops have like memberships and like, people that support the shops, they pay either monthly or yearly dues, and they get access to either information or product that, Joe Schmo doesn't get.
Yeah.
And there was a couple emails that were sent through a couple of shops that were explaining to their patrons and their members saying, hey, this is straight from Bandai's mouth that they don't have the amount that we are wanting to get and the amount that we need, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And we want to get that. We want to apologize in advance that a lot of these orders we may have to scale back, yada yada yada. So it was a concerning thing to see, but again, like we're saying, like to see Bandai address the issue directly and say, hey, we are aware of it, because there were other slides that said, hey, like they were a full-on acknowledgement, like, hey,
100%.
we are not doing what we need to be doing to meet the demand for this. And they
Yeah.
even came out and apologized for it for all these card shops and so on. So I'm glad that it's been acknowledged and that there's something to be done for it. It's frustrating that we're at a point where it's like, how does it feel like we're in a place of like regression almost when we're over a year out?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like there's a lot that they're trying to do. It's just a kind of a feels bad moment.
Yeah. And I mean, you know what? To kind of take the idea that we've been talking about, which unfortunately has been sort of like this idea of regression, and to kind of turn it to like a lighter note, to a sign of progression, is that with all of the, like product shortages and stuff like that, and difficulty getting your hands on everything, they are obviously working on that, which is great. But one thing I was super excited about is the announcement of like so many other things at this expo as well, such as store regional championships.
Yes.
That is so cool. This is what we were talking
Awesome.
about on a previous episode of the
Yes.
podcast, was that we saw in a pamphlet kind of like a roadmap to Nationals 2. And it was
Mhm.
really interesting that they never mentioned on there explicitly, but it was hinted at that there would be another avenue of being able to get to Nationals. You'll have your regionals that the top 16 players will be able to gather an invite. And now we're going to have a store regionals that will also allow people to get to the championship finals, the national tournament. And
Mhm.
I think this is an amazing move on their part, because not
Agreed.
only does it allow for, like I had a local player friend of mine, Jacob, that he never got into any Treasure Cups, regionals, nothing. He had the
Yeah.
hardest time signing up for any online event, no matter what,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I told him to come over to my house. I said, bro, come over to my house. I got some really good internet. I was like, you connect on my internet, it might be able to help you, right? He got
Yeah.
into all 3 Treasure
Let's
Cups in
go.
May, all 3. And I
Nice.
was like,
Sick.
that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
However, that's having internet issues is like a lot, like in connection speeds, a lot of people aren't able to get into these online matches. And I think that there is a really good opportunity that Bandai is going for here, where you're now giving the opportunity to get an invite by playing at your local store. That's
Hmm.
amazing. Absolutely
Yes.
love to see that. And
Yep.
what there was one other thing. Um, oh, and also they're increasing the amount of major tournament organizers that we have, at least here in the North American region. I'm not
Right.
entirely sure of every other region, so don't quote me on that. But we've at least, I think we've seen 2 or 3 additions, and one is my local card shop here, the Booster Box, that is doing a test event in April, and I'm
Yeah.
super excited to be casting that
Dude, that's
here.
so sick. I'm so happy. Like
Yeah,
I'm like I saw the booster box pop up, and obviously I affiliated them with y'all two together. I'm like that
yeah.
is so sick. I'm so like that's like in your backyard, man. I'm
Oh
so
yeah,
hyped for that.
yeah.
That is so sick.
It's like 30 to 40 minutes away, but like that's nothing. Like that's a
Oh yeah. Yeah.
quick drive, man.
Oh,
Like,
easy peasy, dude.
and yeah, it's so great because I've gotten to know the owners of the shop, and Ian and Medina have been fantastic, and they've treated me well as a lot of the people there. So
Yeah.
it's a nice atmosphere over there, and I think that they're putting their best foot forward. They're gonna be crushing that event, so I'm super excited to be a part of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just
I
ready.
wish, dude. I wish I could do it, man. The moment it popped up and I saw, the problem was it's so soon. It's such a quick
Yeah,
turnaround
yeah,
from
yeah.
the announcement. And I had already signed up for Arlington the weekend after that.
Right.
And so me being a family man with a wife and a son, there's only so much time I can step away
Oh,
and
100%.
go and make these trips and make these things happen.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sending Faye, who to
Yeah.
represent.
Love Faye.
So
Oh my
Yep.
God. Faye.
And then our buddy Nick, I know it's
He's,
fun, dude. He can't wait to see you. He already said.
I can't wait to see him, man. It's gonna be
And
fun.
then our buddy Nick, Nick, who's also a local, who
Hell
got
yeah.
top 16 at Nats.
Woo.
So we're sending a couple sweats up there for you, buddy.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm assuming it's gonna be streamed. I don't want to get ahead of myself,
No,
but
it will be. I'll be
because you're
casting.
gonna be commentating
Yeah,
and
we'll be
yeah,
live streaming it on their YouTube channel, and then we will also be. Now this is on them, not on me particularly. But I will talk. I will be chatting with them about potentially getting some footage and whatnot. But they will be more than likely doing a full broadcast. Posted as a uploaded video onto their channel as well.
mhm,
So yeah, we'll have the whole thing. It's going to be
love it.
the whole 9 yards.
Can't wait.
Yeah, they've got a great production team that's coming in, and then I'm myself as well as Broken TCG, aka my friend Trevor from Locals,
Hmm.
are going to be casting the event. So
Love it.
yeah, super excited. And yeah, I mean, other than that, it's so great to see that Bandai has recognized that there was a lot of problem with people getting into tournaments, getting into events and stuff like that. So what they're trying to do is not only make more tournaments, more events, but make some of them local for you, like whether that's a
Good.
store regional, whether that's this. There was also I'm trying to remember, there was like one other event that was happening, and I'm forgetting what it was. It was maybe it was just a um I just remember them mentioning something like a sealed product, but it wasn't a sealed volume 1 like with the Sabo, but it was
Okay.
another sealed event. We would have more store championships coming up, all kinds of stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
This is great.
Yeah, I want to see more events like this
Right.
where they're getting the community involved with all
Right.
kinds of stuff. I mean, this is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. I agree, and this is how you develop and grow a community. This
Yeah,
is like this is the essence of it. And so you just got to make sure you got the cards, enough cards for everyone that wants to play,
that's so
and then
true.
we're good, and then everything's fine.
Yeah,
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of like the equivalent to what they do in Japan with their flagship
correct.
tournament. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So, and Pokemon has kind of a similar thing where you win these Pokemon Cups,
Yeah.
and they're done locally, and then you accrue points.
Okay.
To once you've I think right now it's like 350 or so, but you get like 60 points per play. Like obviously every place, every rank that you're at is X amount of points,
Yeah.
and then you're trying to accrue 350 points, and then once you do, then you have essentially earned the amount of points necessary to go into the big event.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is a great way to get more of a local thing going,
Mm-hmm.
and thus it just translates to more of a national thing when you do things on a more local level.
Yeah.
So I love it. This is great, and I think it's the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
Again, I'll be buying my tickets to that one LCS in North Dakota. That's gonna have 3 people. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go farm that because my logos is sweaty, bro. I mean, I've got 2 top 16s here local. I've got, hell, I mean, Faye and the others. Like, yeah, I'm
Yep.
just like,
Yep.
brother, come on. Like, what? How far? I got to get away from you guys, man. Like, I gotta get away to stand a chance. But no, I mean, this is great, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm like, kudos to them because you're right. Like, I was using the word regression, and maybe that's a little too rough because
No, I
it
think
kind of
it's fair.
it kind of undermines all the good things that you just highlighted,
Right.
and I don't want to take away from that. But I also feel like you and I are both players, and
Yeah.
there's also the collectability aspect of this. I'm also a collector when it comes to Pokemon and One Piece, quite frankly. And so, in the back of my mind, I want to keep them in my mind too. It's like collectors help fuel this, just not as much as players. I think you could say that, but they are a part of this whole thing in terms of its success. And when collectors can't get their hands on this type of thing, and you start to lose that market, you're just losing out on money. Like, these things have like a trickle effect, and I just want to make sure that from both a player and collector standpoint, I'm gonna put player in the forefront, but we can't ignore the fact that people want to open this product and just collect the cards also.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that needs to be accounted for as well.
No, 100%. And I don't think that at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with criticizing and speaking, like kind of a matter of fact. So when you're talking about regression, there's nothing wrong with saying that. Like, but I respect that how you say that is that, at the end of the day, the best way to look at it, like my grandma used to tell me one thing in life, and it's something I live my day to day by, is that, when you have all these bad moments that like they bring you down, right? These little things that are just like they're keeping you down a little bit. Why let that be the one thing that you wrap your mind around versus all of the things that are going so well for you, that are making you happy, that are fulfilling your life, the blessings in your life, right? And so that's kind of
Shout
the
out
way.
to Grandma Luffy. Thank you.
Shout out to Grandma Luffy. We'll call her Curly to Dawn over here, okay? But yeah. So there. So
better than Big Mom, I guess. I don't know the lore. I don't know the lore of Curly to Dawn and Big Mom, but I would assume that that's probably a better reference.
No, 100%, 100%.
Okay, cool.
But
cool.
yeah, no, they but you're right. You got to highlight all the good stuff that we're getting as well. There's just I'm really excited for the future. It makes me really hyped. I won't lie, like the near future though does have me like a little. I'm like, yeah, I'm a little scared,
but I'm hoping that we just kind of have to weather this storm for the next month, 6 weeks, and then from there on we're just smooth sailing, bro.
I hope so, and I believe so. I believe so. But we're gonna have to kind of wait and see on that. But with all of these events and everything that's happening, the one thing that I was getting concerned about was the functionality, but also how they are handling the Bandai TCG app as well. Mm-hmm. And there has been an announcement that they recognize that there are some failures or some stuff that it's coming up short on their end that they want to do better on. So there is plans for improvement for the Bandai TCG Plus app as a whole, not only from a storefront being able to apply for tournaments and everything, but also from a player standpoint. So that was also a really big announcement that I was very excited for to see and hear, because I think that I will say this, when I first started using the app, I was like, this is the worst app I think I've ever experienced in my entire life. And then I won't lie, after I started using it a little bit, I was like, it's not terrible. It's just not great. Like
Yeah.
once you understand how the app works, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely not great. Like there's so much room for improvement.
It's not
And
intuitive at all.
no, no, not at all. And
No.
I think that's where, you know, I'm fingers crossed we see some improvements, because now that we have all these great events that are going to be coming out, it's pretty important that, you
It's
know,
very
that
important.
they start to make this app as functionable as possible, and so that, you know, maybe stores even have particular options, right? Like the stores can use the app for uh particular things. Like, so for example, you're a store that has 32 allocated spots for a pre-release, right? So you have two columns of 16 players
Right.
going doing their thing, right? If you know for a fact every time you have like 60 plus players apply, right? Is there a way that you're like, man, do we just do it first come first serve, or do we do the random lottery system, right?
Lottery. Yeah.
They could make it change to where it's a lottery system, you know, so it's like it just says applied and everything. Like in the app, there's none of that is clear, not from a business standpoint. Like I've worked with some of the owners at card shops and been like, hey, let me try and help you. You know,
Right.
I've worked with the app and everything, but I'm like trying to figure out some of this stuff, and I'm looking at their user interface. I'm like, God, this is rough. Like from a business stand, like looking at it, they have a different viewpoint. I'm looking at it like,
Sure.
what in the world, dude? Like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so there's some points to be made there, and it just makes me happy that they've acknowledged that and that they're
Mhm.
ready to go, hey, we want to make improvements, and it makes, I don't know, I just get excited. I get excited for the future.
I'm with you. Like there, I mean, we'll put it this way. Everything that needed to be said has been said.
Hmm.
Now it's just a matter of
Getting it done.
let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see it. And I mean, but I agree. It's all
Yeah.
optimism. It's all optimism. It's all moving in the right direction. And the simple fact that they acknowledge these things, I think, is a huge step. I've been involved in other TCGs, and quite frankly, they don't feel like they give a damn. They're just kind of like, this is what we do. This is who we are. If you like it, cool. If you don't, cool.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
don't, just like it's whatever. Whereas like Bandai, I'm sure if you're, people on Twitter, I don't know if they offer it on other forms of social media, but Bandai actually does like release surveys, and
Yeah,
they
that's
want
true.
to they want to hear back, and they
That is
want to
true.
take the criticism, and they're pretty thorough about the surveys, and
Hmm.
the surveys have the right questions. They're asking the right questions.
Yeah.
And so like it again, it fills me with hope, because it's like, all right, y'all are taking the time to hear the feedback, to develop these surveys. uh you know I would assume that y'all are actually taking the time to comb through the surveys and really digest what people are saying, and then saying, all right, well, what can we do about this?
Yeah.
um and so like, cool, great, this
Yeah.
is all awesome. Now let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Like you
So
said, they're talking the talk. Now we need to see the walk, you know?
let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
And I'd be happy with any sort of improvement. But to be fair, I think right now, the way that it's set up isn't horrific. I just think that as a new user coming to that app, it is an experience
Bro,
trying to figure it out.
I'm not gonna lie. As me being, damn, I don't want to say my age. I'm old. Okay, I'm old. I did not grow up with technology. I was not an iPad baby. I did not have a PC until I was 16 years old. Okay. I don't know. I
Wait,
don't,
me neither,
like,
though.
okay, well,
Well, wait. There was a computer in
okay.
the house.
Yeah,
But
no, we didn't.
myself, I didn't have like an actual computer until I was about
Oh
16.
no, I didn't have,
Yeah.
brother. I didn't have a computer. I got lucky and I won a PC at my graduation party from high school. That was the only way in my life. Like, no, we didn't have a computer in the house till I was like 16 years old, bro.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was
Um.
probably like 8.
Yeah. No. No. So I have no clue what I'm doing when it comes to technology in the slightest. And so I literally, to this day, when stores run their stuff through the app, I literally just hand my phone off to one of my local friends. I'm like, just I don't know, just do whatever needs to be done, bro, because I
Yeah.
have no clue where I need to go, what I need to search, what is happening right now. But hopefully there's improvements on the horizon with that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. So
I could agree, but
yeah.
it that's just I'm sorry, it's funny.
Not
Uh,
hey,
yeah.
you see. I mean, you see the gray hairs
Hey, you
coming
know,
in,
that's
and
wisdom right there, brother. That is wisdom. Okay.
if
Yeah.
only,
Yeah.
if only.
Uh,
Yeah.
with your mighty wisdom, I would love to hear some of your thoughts. To just kind of wrap up the conversation, but also like to get into next week's episode. I kind of want to end on OP06. What are your thoughts? Who's going to be the winners? Who's going to be the losers?
Mhm.
What are we going to be seeing? Share with me that wisdom of those gray hairs.
Uh, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of stings, bro. Damn. Carter, we're going to Walgreens after this and buying hair dye.
Oh my god! Sorry, I had to do it.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Honestly, I don't know if I have anything too groundbreaking to share. I think, um, I think Yamato is a really cool leader in the sense that I think it's cool to see a leader that can be built with a lot of different diversity to it, which is really cool. I'm
Yeah.
not a huge fan of the aggro Yamato because I'm just like swing,
Yeah,
load up,
yeah.
swing, load up, swing.
Swing
Oh,
nine,
Nami out of
fuck.
life. Cool. It's like, all right, well,
Get wrecked,
it is
nerd.
what it is. And it's just insanely strong. Like it's just
Yeah.
like that is a proven winning formula.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it's a little frustrating. What people are referring to as a Fortress Yamato is
Yeah.
cool to see it completely turn from hyper aggro to like super tanky and just like
I agree.
and so like that's actually really cool to see.
I actually respect that build more.
I agree with
I
agree.
hate the aggro Yamato, but I do think
Oh
it's
my
actually funny enough. I actually think it's arguably easier to beat, but there is a weird like thing that if you just get unlucky and you don't see any blockers, GG.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
lost.
you're just
Good game.
it's just curtains. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I think I love what they did with Reiju. I think Reiju and the Germa cards are extremely creative. I think they're super fun. I think they provide a way to play the game that we have never seen before. Excuse me, with kind of like the way I'll use a Pokemon term, the way that the kind of character evolves into its like bigger, bigger self.
Yeah.
I think is really, really, really cool. And then you're getting the on play factor of playing that card. Just a really, really creative, cool way to play the game. I think Reiju's gonna be like my little pocket deck.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna play, and it's super fun. I don't know if there's a more fun thing to do in the game than drop down Judge and just like wham, 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 just go through all the motions.
All the Power Rangers. You get them all.
Dude, it is such a fun feeling because you're like, I'm gonna do this, then bounce that, and then here comes the blocker. Oh, here's 7K to your face. Like draw 3 cards. Like it's just like it's like a really, really fun deck to pilot.
I can agree, but on the note of Reiju, I actually wanted to interject really fast. I have been cooking, all right? I've been in the kitchen. I've been whipping up a new dish, okay? Call me Chef Sanji over here with a little bit of spice,
Animal
Kingdom Reiju. Dude, I will swear by this deck. It is solid. It is not top tier, okay? I know it, but it is solid. It is competitive. It's just not top tier.
Yeah,
I've been trying it into every single meta deck list, and it's not horrible. It's not horrible.
I've actually played with it too.
Yeah.
It's super fun, and it's funny. The idea. I mean, I played it on Sim, and it's like I don't go by FTC on the Sim because people are like, oh, I beat FTC, and I'm like, dude, like, come on, bro. Like, I'm literally an old man.
I get it all
who
the
just,
time.
Like, super, like, yeah, exactly. I'm just like, all right, well, whatever. But I was playing with a build. The idea came to my mind as well, and I was playing with the build, and I saw one of your videos, and so like I think I didn't watch the video, but I was like, oh, this is actually like really, really cool. I click every one of your videos to give you your views. I thumbs up. I go through all the motions of like, like let's boost my guy.
You're a real friend.
But I like built it all, and I was like, all right. I went on the sim, and someone was like, "Did you get this from LuffyTCG?" And I'm like, I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's not his deck list because I mean, maybe it is. I haven't looked
Whoa.
at yours to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But the idea that it came from you, I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I can see it. I can see it. It is.
Honestly, I don't want to say that I don't want to say that I created it. However, I hadn't seen any other videos about it yet. And so I was like, I was just making it as a joke one day
Yeah.
on stream, and I was like, wait a minute, this I might
Something to
there's
this.
something to this. Like, and then
Yeah.
I tried it and I started like playing with the ratios and everything. And I was like, dude, this isn't bad.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
eventually I was like, man, did I just create a decent ratio list? Wait a
what did
minute.
I do? Yeah. Well, as someone who played, like I played Blurple Kaido
Yeah.
straight for like 3 weeks straight. I just played nothing but Blurple Kaido, for set maybe at the beginning of set 5. I want to say like at the very beginning of set 5. Um, and it was super fun, like the Animal Kingdom package, and so it made sense. Like when you see the blue purple color combination, I think a lot of people intuitively think the Animal Kingdom package if you've
Yeah.
played blue purple at all. But it's
Yep.
super fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a blast. I don't think, it's not quite the standard Germa build level fun for me because I mean I just love playing that.
Yeah.
Um, but it's super fun, and again, it's just when you can take a leader and do things that they quote unquote were like designed to do, kind of thing.
Right.
It makes it super fun to play it in a complete, like I've seen aggro Namis before. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah.
um but yeah, I love like wonky builds like that are super fun to play, so
Of course.
props
And
to you for that.
I've actually seen it's a couple of wonky Perona builds, but I think that there's pretty much kind of like the staple idea right now, which is a lot of like the Navy package with the Don Quixote Doflamingo. So I think Perona is going to be a very good leader. However, I think that Perona is going to have the roughest time against Yellow in OP06, and it's just I feel like as somebody that really wanted to play a lot of Perona, I hate losing to Yellow. It's like
Yeah.
my least favorite thing to do in this world.
Yep.
So I was like, if I'm gonna play a deck, it has to be at least viable into Yellow,
Right.
and that's kind of where I found myself playing Gecko Moria as well as like Sakazuki or my Animal Kingdom Reiju.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think, as someone I genuinely love playing black, I think the reason why I haven't drifted more towards Gecko is because I want to play Lucci in 7, and I feel like if I get too much of the like just working from the trash, and there's like the same kind of engine over and over and over again.
Oh,
I'm
you'll
like,
be burnt out in OP07 of it.
yeah,
I feel you.
well, not. I mean, I'll always find ways to kind of like have fun with things, but
Yeah.
in terms of like what is going to be my serious deck, like I don't want to grind Gecko into Lucci,
Yeah.
and just feel like I'm kind of more or less doing the same thing. So,
That's fair. That's super
and I
fair.
feel like like with my history with Black, I feel like I can pretty much grab a Gecko deck or a Sokka deck or a Lucci deck, and for the most part, do a pretty damn good job of piloting it. So,
Yeah.
um,
If
that's kind of where I'm.
if I could be honest about something though, I think you could play Gecko. The reason why is because EBO1 coming out is kind of like the halfway mark between now and OP07.
Right.
So you could really realistically like play Gecko, and then halfway through EBO1 comes out, you could play like, geez, there's like purple yellow crocodiles actually kind of dope.
Oh yeah.
Green red
Well-
Odin. What's the other one that gets like a lot of
Red Purple Law.
Red Purple Law gets a lot of love. Yes.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I'm on my Red Purple Law / Reiju. And honestly, like I would have fully committed to Reiju had it not been the fact that the Red Purple Law is just like the biggest auto loss you might ever take in One Piece. So like I never want to sit down with the deck and just look at my opponent's leader and just be like, okay, well you just win,
Yeah,
So
yeah, good game.
that was the one thing with Reiju that I was like, if I run across the Red Purple Law, like I just lose. So
Dude, try the Animal Kingdom.
I might. I mean, I've been having super fun with this. It just, I'll be honest with you, it doesn't quite feel as strong as the Germa build. It doesn't quite feel it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Although we may have to hash it
Oh
out
yeah, we're gonna have to hash that one out.
and see how that goes. But I think, and also I think what it is, because I plan on seeing so much Gecko, that I
Mm.
feel like the response to Gecko SR is Judge. I feel like Judge actually answers that card really well.
Judge is pretty good.
Yeah, so that's Rage is just a lot of fun, and
Yeah, yeah,
it's just again, props to Bandai for coming out with that, because it's just something new and refreshing and fun to play. So
dude. Could
um
not agree more. Just
and
I.
then
Oh yeah, you were about to say Hody Jones.
our boy Hody
I was
Jones,
like,
bro.
stuff with interesting mechanics like that, super cool
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, I agree.
I got whooped by our local green master that just got top 16 using Uta at one of the treasure cups regionally or
Nice.
recently, excuse me.
Uh-huh.
I got whooped last night.
Uh-huh.
Or was no, it wasn't was it last? No, it was the night before. But he beat me with Hody Jones. And I was playing and
Hody's curve
dude,
is nasty.
I was talking mad, mad,
Uh-oh.
mad
Uh-oh.
shit. All right, I'm not even
Uh-oh.
gonna censor it. I was
Yeah,
talking
no,
mad
let it
shit.
out. Yeah,
Like,
let
yeah,
it
I
out.
was.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was like, Hody's trash. What are you talking about, right? And I go up against him using a kind of like a test Sakazuki build that I had, and
Yeah.
oh my god, dude, I
Yeah.
will say the game was close, right? It was close.
Yeah.
I had him down to no life, right? It was close, but he was able to
Yeah.
counter out of one play, and I had 2 life left, and he had like already a Hody Jones on board. He had this other card that restands and attacks for like 5/6 or something like that.
Hmm.
He had uh what was another Hody Jones in hand, and he had like a 5/6 vanilla or something on the board, and I was just like, dude, what? And so
Yeah.
he just starts swinging all these numbers at me, and I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, you got it. I don't
Yeah.
have anything, and I couldn't believe it. I lost to Hody Jones using like the most OP deck, and I just
Yeah.
sat there thinking to myself, either
Complete
I'm
disbelief.
bad, which is probably true, or he's really good, and which is also very true,
Yeah.
or Hody Jones is actually something. And then I was like,
Yeah.
nah, it's still
No, no,
nah.
not so much. Although I will say, I was talking with Faye. I was talking
Yeah,
with Faye this last Sunday at our last pre-release, and he was showing me the cards for Hody Jones that he's gonna build, because Faye's such a troll.
yeah,
And so he's gonna go. He's already. He was. I've never seen a man so happy talking about Hody Jones than him. And like all the cards, he's like, so these guys they swing six twice, okay, right? And then Hody Jones come, and like he was like explaining the curve to me and all this stuff. And like I'm like, you know what? There's like in all this madness, there's actually something here, like
yeah,
there's something to it. And not to mention, I mean, just Hody Jones, the card is an insane card too. Like, I mean, that card is so good. That
yeah.
card is so good. And so like if your deck can run that card, there's a certain amount of like you can do things, you can make things happen
Hell yeah.
just by slapping that card as a 3 or 4 of in your damn deck and just going to town, dude.
It's crazy, man. Like,
Yeah.
I know that for sure in some future build of like some green leader in the future, Hody
Mhm.
Jones is going to be such a savage. Like,
Yeah.
100% that deck is, or that character is going to
Mhm.
be such a savage in a deck. But we'll see. I mean, I think it would be interesting to see something along the lines of what's the card I'm thinking of? It is, I think it's green, and it gives a Wano double attack. It's like a green event that gives a Wano double attack, right?
Okay.
But imagine you were able to give Hody Jones double attack with that rush,
Dude,
brother.
let's stop.
Brother.
Stop right there. Stop right
Yes,
there.
actually insane. Like I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically back when the 8-cost Odin came out. Or no,
Mhm.
it was from. Now I think about it, I got it. It's actually from Starter Deck 9 Yamato. It's a yellow cost card, or a yellow 1-cost card that gives a double attack. Very interesting, but I just had like some ideas. I was like, oh, that's cool, but it only gives like a Land of Wano character.
Got you.
Yeah, but imagine it gave anything. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, I mean I've played the Yamato builds that have Hody in them.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And that is, dude, when you can use Hody and give the 2 Rested Dawn to that character, I'm just like, what?
10K swing casually.
Dude, like honestly, I've been so again, I've been big on red purple law, and I think that's going to be pretty much my main deck for set 6.
Yeah.
And there's that one card, Hody Jones and Yamato, just absolutely destroys us, man. It is, and I was like, is this a me problem? Because like I was playing against aggro Yamatos as red purple law, and I've been having the toughest time. It's been super hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this a me thing, or like is it like what? So I went on go to old YouTube University, and I start googling red purple law versus Yamato, and there's a good amount of matches from Asia. And I'm trying to find a relatively same build that the other Yamatos are using, and I'm like, they're all having the same issue, dude.
Yeah.
That Hody Jones comes down, and it like you can throw up as many blockers as you want, it doesn't matter, and like they literally just knock them down and then swing 10 to your face, and you're just like,
They just laugh in your face. Yeah.
dude, I'm like, all right, so this is, it felt a little bit better, but it also felt bad because it's like, all right, it's not really a me thing, it's just like this build against going into red purple law is just so nasty, and I think a lot of it. All right, here's the sauce. If you're aggro Yamato player going against red purple law, just mulligan for Hody Jones and his GGs. if you get two of them, if you can get two Hody Jones against the red purple law, just look at them and tell them, you sure you don't want to scoop, buddy? Because
It's over.
It's over, dude. Like there's literally nothing that we can do as a red purple law player. It feels so bad. So
Well, the EBO1 maybe that'll help you. You know?
yeah, I'm just gonna be just killers 7K to your face all the time, bro.
Bond Clay straight to the dome, call it a day.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't wait. So
Well, we can't wait to talk about it, and I know that next podcast will be hopefully potentially having a guest on to talk about some of their thoughts as well on OP06.
Yes.
But until then, guys, thank you so much for listening. This is just such a good recap episode to come back from, life over the past month and then talk about all new things, brand new, coming to One Piece. Super excited for the future. Obviously, a couple of disappointments here or there that we can work through, but that's just
a little apprehension.
Apprehension. That's a good way to word that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We had a blast. I know that's for sure.
Always.
Yeah.
My brother from another mother. We always.
Amen.
Dude, we got on Discord and I was like, Ian, it has been way too damn long since I've seen that handsome face. But you know what?
Agreed.
The bigger picture, we love One Piece, but sometimes life is life, and things take priority. So
family comes first, card games come second,
Amen.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy the rest of it, and if you guys did enjoy, we do appreciate you if you follow or subscribe on any of the social medias you might be listening to. Other than that, our social medias will be over here on the right or in the description. And we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Peace
Peace out.